gunned down Alison Parker and Adam Ward this week in Virginia, murdering the young reporter and her cameraman in cold blood. And almost as soon as their bodies hit the ground, the usual arguments were being made across the media. Some, including Miss Parker's father, arguing that more and better gun laws are what we need, and if they were in place, his daughter and her cameraman would not be dead. Unfortunately, it's not at all clear that is the case. On the other hand, the argument being made by some that if more people were carrying weapons, then it's possible that they would have been able to take Flanagan down before he committed both of those murders. That's a position for which there is not only no evidence, there's evidence against it. Since what we seem to know is the more handguns that are out there on the streets, the only thing we can really bet on is more innocent people being killed, whether purposefully or accidentally. But there is one conversation which we could and should be having because it affects all of us, not just the events in Virginia. And it has to do with a phrase that I'm hearing from a number of people in law enforcement trying to explain who Lee Flanagan II was. And the phrase that keeps coming back is, he was a dangerous injustice collector. Meaning that he went through his life in a near psychotic and deeply narcissistic way, looking for evidence of how the world was arrayed against him, looking for evidence that he was underappreciated and misunderstood. And even if it's true that he was underappreciated and misunderstood, collecting that evidence in a profoundly pathological way that set him against the entire world, and in his own twisted mind, legitimated and justified the murders he committed this week. Now let's be clear. Not all people who are on the lookout for injustices are Lee Flanagan, or even less toxic forms of dangerous injustice collectors, but especially for people who are concerned about injustice. It reminds us of the importance of being able to raise awareness and sensitivity to injustice without always being on the lookout for slights and hurts and the tiniest forms of injustice being blown in to massive causes. In fact, what that does is create a culture of victimhood that serves no one well, one in which bitterness and rage become the price of sensitivity and awareness. And so I don't know that we need to take away any lessons from the murders of Miss Parker and Mr. Ward, but I do know that there is a slope from dangerous injustice collector, which is a mental illness and different in its own way, all the way over to those of us who, in the name of fighting injustice, ourselves become needlessly enraged and embittered. And I suspect that it would do us all good to step back from that as the price for the sensitivities and awareness which we know need to be an increasing part of the larger world in which we live.